So, hey, hi again. I decided to post some of these videos sooner together, just to get myself rolling and get myself comfortable with this whole podcasting stuff. Anyway, trying to get used to it. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I started yesterday. Oh, if I can find this. Let me shrink that down. Okay. Sorry, I'm not used to this stuff. And we'll pull that up. And so, just some things that I wrote down, some thoughts. And this is more on why did I want to do this podcast? Why do I want to discuss some of the conspiracy stuff or things that I find interesting or confusing, mostly confusing. And I made notes here to myself on things that I want to talk on. And what I said was, if you consider the consequences of doing what you believe, if you consider consequences of doing what you believe, you compromise your self-esteem. Just to know, I think I read that somewhere. Oh, that's not my quote. I think I got it or adapted it from something that I was thinking about anyway. And I just think you should think about that, because we go through life and we often want to say something to somebody or to some buddies about a subject, and we hold back. And we hold back because we're concerned about the ridicule. We're concerned about being mocked or scoffed at. And those, if you're considering the compromise, if you compromise what you believe because of consequences that might occur, I think you're diminishing your own self-esteem. Now, I'm not putting myself above this in any way. I've done this my whole life, where I've compromised things that I knew to be true or wouldn't tell people when I thought they were being some sort of an SOB, and just said, hey, you treated that guy really crappy. I just think you should know that. So I'm here to kind of open up a forum where we can say stuff like that. And I feel like I've done it. I've held back really on discussing some of the conspiracy stuff that I've studied. And the reason I've held back is because I'm afraid, I was nervous that it would compromise my position in my employment or in my chosen religion. So there were things that I just didn't say. And now I feel like, no, those things need to be said. We need to say them for ourselves, for our own sake. Anyway, so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can just move this aside. Bam. Yeah, that's... I'll figure this out here. Yeah, that works. There was a guy named Vaughn J. Featherstone. He was a Mormon author. I'm sure he's passed away now. I'm not positive, but I saw him on a couple of occasions many years ago. And he made a statement, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I used to quote it because I heard him say it, and then I ran into him, and I said, do you remember? And I said it, and he says, no, I don't remember saying that, but it sounds like something I would say. So I don't say it as a quote. It's maybe my paraphrasing. But what he said was, don't ever make a commitment that you don't intend to keep, because it only serves to weaken your own character. And that's kind of goes along with what I was just saying about considering consequences of something, and then reserving yourself on something that you want to speak on, and you don't because you're nervous about the consequences. This kind of goes along the same line. If you're going to say that you're going to do something, or you believe in something, have faith in something, then be in it all the way. Don't let it weaken your character by going back on something that you think you believe in it. And if that's your political party, okay. If it's your religion, okay. If it's some belief that you have, okay. But be in it or talk about it. Be willing to discuss it and open up and, see if you can come to some intelligent conclusion. either pro or con to whatever subject it is you're talking about. Now, I'm going to skip down here, but things that we can talk about, that we can bring up, I'm open to anything. If you want to send in a message that says, hey, Whitney, let's discuss this. Man, let's do it. I'm going to figure out how to do this, and we're going to get it on so it's on a phone call, and we can communicate, and it'll be live, and we'll put it up here and let people call in and talk about things with me. And I don't care if you want to yell at me or educate me or where that's going, but I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to discuss it. If I think you're a bozo, I'll tell you. But it should still be open to discussion. I want to discuss empathy. I want to discuss worship, all types of worship. I want to discuss our school system a little bit, immunizations / vaccines, the way we communicate with one another, the wars of the world that seem to go on and on. I'd like to discuss megaliths. If you haven't studied the megaliths yet, you should. There's thousands of them, but they're just fascinating. Socialized medicine versus the medical system we have now, which is actually more socialized than most people realize. What are the possibilities of our conscious mind versus our subconscious mind? How can we use our own, I don't want to say too much, our own vibration? Some people would say we are vibration, or we are electricity, or we are our mind. What can we do with this, whatever is inside of us? Does that actually have power? I'd like to discuss dieting, all the different nutritional fads a little bit. Alien contacts, UFO type things. I'd like to discuss chemtrails versus contrails, if you have a passion in that, which I know some people do. Human nature, again, war, death and suicide. I'll bring this one up, be a little bit harder, but we'll give you a notice on that one, or I'll give you notice, but hopefully my partner will join me after seeing one or two of these. Music, all types of music. So I'll leave that out. Psychedelics I'd like to discuss. Sorry, I'm reading this rather than looking at the camera. I don't mean to ignore people or look a little weird here. Population of the Earth, just the general population. Georgia Guidestones. Go over the Georgia Guidestones somehow. I'll have to steal some pictures off the internet on it, or put some links up on the Georgia Guidestones. The Hampstead cover-up, if you haven't studied the Hampstead pedophilia ring, man, with or without this podcast, you ought to study the Hampstead pedophilia ring, and also Pizzagate. Boys Town. I would study some of that stuff, with or without hearing it on here. But we'll discuss it on here for sure. At any rate, I don't know. That's a short video. It's only 8 minutes. I'm going to get out of here, but that gives you some idea about some of the things that I would like to get on and start discussing on here. We'll keep it down half an hour, maybe. That's usually enough to say more than we should. Maybe an hour if it's going interesting, or when we get into call-ins so that people can call in and discuss it. Maybe go to an hour on these things. But I don't know. We ought to use this format of Facebook and YouTube to actually sit and discuss some things rather than just putting up cute pictures of puppies and crap like that. There's a lot that can be done here to, I think, uplift the entire human race. Anyway, not that I'm going to do that. That was a pretty bold statement, but through Facebook, I think it's possible. Anyway, love you all. Peace, righteous, harmony. Have fun. Have a nice day. Go visit with your families. See you.